Hello summoners, welcome back to another damage comparison video. This one is going to be between the newest character in MCOC, Super-Skrull and Venom. Now the reason I'm making this comparison is because I think whenever the new characters come in, the first thing people look at is the damage output. And there's some characters with big yellow numbers you can easily see and get to know what the damage output is, but then there are characters like Super-Skrull who if you only see his yellow numbers, then they're not that high, like even with armor breaks and furies and stuff. But after the incinerates on the SP2, he actually does decent damage. Like, it's nothing crazy, but it is above average, and he does have some immunities as well and other stuff as well. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in the video. But Venom, he has been in the game for a while. Even after his buff, he has been in the game for a while. People use him, people love him, and I think it's going to give people a better idea of his damage output, because again a lot of his damage does come from the incinerates on the SP2 and in one of the phases. But a big thing I want to mention is that he is not a very simple character to play. Like, you have to time a lot of stuff, and I'm really not good at that. I will manage to do it a few times in this video, but this is definitely not the most ideal gameplay you're going to find on YouTube even now. But it will take, like, every character these days, they kind of require a little bit of expertise, getting used to and stuff like that. And yeah, so far 81 hits, you would probably not be very impressed. But the damage output, first of all, we went for the SP3 to get the permanent aptitude buff. That helps kind of. For longer fights you should probably go for it, otherwise go for SP1s and then SP2s. Now SP1, as you saw there, first of all, animation wise, super cool character, one of the best I think. I love the SP3 animation, I love how smooth he is, he's very fun to play. Like, usually I see a character who doesn't have great damage output, I do not take them in Labyrinth of Legends for testing. Like, in video maybe I'll do a few variant fights, a Realm of Legend fight, but I assume some other people would be doing that. And damage comparison is kind of my series here, so I'm gonna stick with that and see how this video does. So do leave a like if you have been watching so far, and if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more MCOC related content. I upload a video every single day. And yeah, so as you can see right now, we have some armor breaks, we also have falter debuff. I really like the falter, but I was talking about the special one. I get distracted really easily. But so what special one does is, again, it doesn't hit very hard, but it converts your furies into armor ups. And on paper, like, if you just read that does not look like a thing you want to do, but it is, because then you can use your SP2 to convert the armor ups to furies. And why you want to do that? Because, like, you can get more furies that way. So ideally, like, get 5 furies, go for SP1, get those armor ups, then go for SP2, convert those armor ups into furies, and do some pretty decent incinerate damage here. Now this guy kind of reminds me of Old Man Logan, because I recently did a video of him and we talked about how he has so many furies, but because they're not very strong, it doesn't end up giving him that much attack. And the same could be, like, he also has an armor break on the SP1, I believe. But you can say the same, like, when you see a cosmic character with 7, 8, 10 furies with armor break, you expect to see some crazy damage. And this guy, he doesn't have crazy damage. Like, if we were comparing this to Cosmic Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider would probably be done by now. But again, that is why I want to compare it with Venom, because you guys know that Venom is a pretty decent damage. Like, he, again, compared to the top damage dealers like Corvus, Ghost, Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's not there, but you won't time out in fights, you won't feel like you're playing with a complete noodle. And overall, that is how I feel about Super-Skrull. Like, he's not a total noodle. I'd say his damage output is definitely above average in fights where you can get those incinerates rolling, because they do a lot of damage. And I really like this guy. He's not very strong. I don't think he will end up very high on any tier list, but I really like him. I really love his animations and the playstyle and even the abilities. So I hope I pull this guy as a 6-star. I don't think he needs to be awakened, but we'll talk about the awakened ability in a second. Here, let's talk about his immunities. So he is immune to shock and incinerate, and I remember when I first fought him in Cavalier difficulty, I used Dr. Doom against him because whenever I see a new cosmic character I use Doom, and he was both immune to shock, so couldn't use my heavy at the end there, and then he was immune to incinerate, so the SP2 didn't do that kind of damage. So kind of a weird combination, feels like he was made to counter Doom, but I don't think he'll be a very annoying defender. He does have Falter, and his special attack, especially the SP2, is not very. The SP1 is kind of easy to evade, the SP2 not so much. At least I have got clipped by it a few times. But I don't think he's going to be an extraordinary defender either. But having double immunity, shock and incinerate, we don't have too many like bleed immune, poison immune characters are a little bit more common. Now let's talk a little bit about his utility, and again, if you want a full detailed guide, you should probably check out the deep dive. This is more of a it is a damage comparison video, and we are going to cover all his abilities, but this is definitely not a detailed guide, and I myself might miss a few things about this character. So coming back to his utility, when he has 4 or more armor ups, he gains a vigilance buff. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but whatever it is, if you have that, your attacks can't be missed. So it could be useful in situations like fighting Ebony Maw or having Falter on you generally, like even fighting Professor X. I think he has Falter, right? But anyways, next thing, if you have 8 or more armor above, you gain unblockable, which is kind of cool. And if you have 4 or more furies, you get undermine debuff, which means that like if your opponent he auto blocks you, then you will be unblockable. So basically you get past the auto block thing, which is nice, but there are not that many auto block characters. Like Medusa at one point used to be very annoying, but at this time like we have a lot of counters to her. But then at 8 plus furies, you get the Nova Phase. This is where his damage actually comes from, and you ideally want to get more than the 8 plus furies every single time, like whenever it's possible, and then every single 100% chance to incinerate on all attacks, like your basic attacks as well, and they deal a pretty decent amount of damage. So that is definitely the way you want to go. And also they reduce the opponent's block proficiency. So I did notice that when I had a bunch of incinerates up, I was doing a lot of block damage. It was almost doing as much as I was doing without normally, when I was actually fighting him. But as you can see, Venom, he is definitely going to win this damage comparison, but not by that much. I think a lot of people will call him a noodle. I don't think he is that bad in damage output. His damage output is not abysmal, unlike Psycho Man. But then Psycho Man does have more going on for him utility wise, in my opinion. The power control is actually pretty powerful. This guy, do let me know what you feel about him, because again, the animations are just so amazing. I really love what they did with how they combine the Fantastic Four thing here. The blocking thing is Invisible Woman's block. You have the Human Torch flames going on, things arm, and the SP3 is just gorgeous. It's one of the best SP3. So far, I'd say my favorite SP3 animation is probably Namor's. I really like that, and then Human Torch and Dr. Doom. I think that's my top 3, but this guy, he might make it up to the top 3. And you also have the folder thing going on for you. I did use it, I think in the deep dive, Doc Lessons said that for the SP2 you want to have the folder on, and then when the opponent comes at you, then you launch the SP2. I did try that a few times in this clip if you paid detail to my gameplay here, but again, probably not the best Super-Skrull gameplay. I am very new to him. Today I was playing him for the first time. So yeah, do let me know if you want some more comparisons with Super-Skrull. I don't have him from that long. We're already 16th February, so yeah, we'll probably just have him for half a month now. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this video. Let's aim to hit 80 likes, and bye bye. Stay safe. Have a good one.